Welcome back, everyone. This is the second of 3 Retro Gentle Criminal deck profiles that I was going to work on. This is the Order symbol. The previous one was the Void symbol. And I just wanted to show off how insane this character is with the Reversal keyword, which allows you to play attacks during your turn while taking advantage of Gentle's natural responses. Getting into it, he is a 6 hand size, 28 health character with 2 responses. The first is, after an attack is blocked, your next check to play an attack or block gets plus X. X equals the printed block modifier of your block. And then, response, after you play an attack, if the check to play it was modified, it gets plus X speed. X equals the amount it was modified by. So if you block an opponent's attack with a plus 2 mid-block, your next check will get plus 2, and then you reversal, play your reversal attack. The check to play that attack gets plus 2, and then that attack gets plus 2 speed. So really generating a lot of power on your opponent's turn through your naturally occurring responses. The attack lineup is starting with Raptor Rush, a 5 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 6 with a plus 2 mid-block. This is a Raphael attack from the Soul Calibur 6 DLC. It's got Charge, Reversal, and Weapon. Reversal being that responsibility that allows you to play it from your hand during your opponent's attack after you block. And this says, Enhance, if this attack is not blocked, change the zone of the next attack to any other zone and reduce the speed of your opponent's next attack to 0. So, if your opponent doesn't block this attack on your turn, you get to change the zone of your next attack. But if they don't block it on their turn, not only are you changing the zone of their next attack to, say, whatever your best block modifier is, but you also reduce that attack speed to 0 instantly. Really solid ability. And then as a response, after you block with this card, you may attempt to play it as a reversal after the blocked attack resolves. So, you block with this plus 2, and then your next check gets plus 2 to play an attack or block. You activate this response, you play this, as, let's say it's your only card in your card pool, on a 5, you get plus 2 to your check to block to play this attack, so you're automatically going to pass it unless you're playing 2s, which you're not playing any in here. And then this attack gains then plus 2 speed to become a 6 high 6 on your opponent's turn, just for playing 1 card. Pretty solid. And then, like I said, if they don't block it on their turn, their next attack becomes 0 speed, whatever zone you need it to be. Moving on, we have Universus Soleil, which is another Raphael attack from the Soul Calibur 6 main set. Actually, I think this is the Libra of Souls main set. But there are 2 Soul Calibur 6 sets. This is a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 high for 5 with a plus 1 high block, also with charged, reversal, and weapon. It has 2 enhances, the first of which is, if this attack was played as a reversal, ready 2 foundations that have not been readied this combat phase. So if you had to commit foundations to block, and then say, not commit foundations to pass this reversal because you got your bonus from Gentle, you then get to ready those foundations that you committed to pass the block. So pretty solid on keeping your defense up. And then Enhance, if this attack is not completely blocked, commit your opponent's character. I mean, this is an absolute win card. I mean, there is no downside to this card. You play it as a reversal, you get to ready 2 foundations, and you put your opponent in a really tight spot, especially if you're giving this thing speed. And then, if it's not completely blocked, your opponent's character gets turned sideways for the rest of their turn and all of your turn. I don't see too many things bad with this particular reversal. Moving on, we have Hien Shippu Kyaku, a reversal from the King of Fighters 13. I believe this is just King of Fighters 13. It might be Neomax. No, I think it would say Neomax. This is the King of Fighters 13 set from way back when. It is a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 4 with a plus 2 high block, kick, and reversal. It says, Enhance, the next time you play a block this turn, that block gets Breaker 1. Reverse and make this really hard to block, and your next block gains Breaker. Pretty easy. And then Enhance, draw 1 card, only playable if your opponent has played an attack this turn. So you're pretty much only throwing this as a reversal, but when played as a reversal, it gives you Breaker to your next block, it lets you draw a card, and it forces your opponent to deal with an attack on their turn. Again, there is no downside to this card in Gentle Criminal. Next up, we've got Gently Trampoline, a 4 difficulty, 2 low for 4, 3 control with a +1 low block. It's got Slam as its keyword. It says Enhance. If this attack is blocked, draw 1 card. That's fine. Gentle Criminal Enhance. If this attack deals damage, draw 2 cards. So this kind of forces your opponent to want to block on your turn so that you don't draw a bunch of cards. But even if they block it, you still get 1 card, and you then gain the bonuses from Gentle Criminal's responses. Then we've got Recipro Burst, a 5 difficulty, 3 low for 5, 3 control with a +2 high block. It has EX3, Kick, and Stun 1. It has Response. After your rival commits 1 or more foundations during this attack's Enhance step, it gets +1 speed. Enhance, discard 1 momentum. This attack gets +X damage. X equals this attack's speed -3. So with the bonuses that you're getting from Gentle, to the check to play it, and then if the check was modified, you get additional speed equal to the amount modified, plus the EX from this card, because you're going to have momentum if you're throwing these fast attacks on your opponent's turn that they're not going to be able to deal with. So you'll have extra momentum for your EX, and for the cost of this card to make it a huge bomb. It's just a really good kill condition card that your opponent's going to have to watch out for, especially if they see you check it early. They're going to have to always know that this card could be coming around the corner. And then it's kind of just a silly card, Overhead Heel Crush. It is a 6 difficulty, 5 high for 10, 3 control with a +3 high block. It is a blank attack, and it just says, catch 10 damage. You don't want to catch 10 damage? Block and allow me to make my responses activate so that my next thing's faster, so that my Recipro Burst is faster, or hell, even if you play like a Gently Trampoline and they're like, oh, too low, I can block with this 3 low, you get +3 speed on your Overhead Heel Crush. It's just a really funny way to throw 10 damage to your opponent and just watch them lose their mind trying to figure out how to deal with this big dumb blank attack. Moving on to our non-attack cards, we have La Brava, a 3 difficulty, 5 control asset with a +1 low block. It's got Breaker 1 and Unique. It says Enhance Commit. This attack gets +X speed or +X damage. X equals the number of symbols that it shares with your character. So with Recipro Burst, you'll get 2 speed or damage. Gently Trampoline, you'll get 3 speed or damage. Everything else, you'll only get 1. It's mainly in there to kind of bolster these 2, and let's face it, Gentle without La Brava seems a little weird, so gotta throw at least one of her in there. Plus, with the way the Breaker works, now, how it used to work is your opponent's next difficulty, their next card gets +1 difficulty, so like it would change this 3 to a 4. But now, it says your opponent's next check to play a card gets -1. So you can block, Breaker, play your reversal. If they try to block that reversal, their check to play that block gets -1 thanks to the Breaker. So, kind of has that fun and unique little reaction to it. Sorry, I have a cat on my lap. And then it also, La Brava also has the Enhance Your Turn, Remove, Discard 2 Momentum. So you remove it and discard 2 Momentum as cost. Your opponent reveals their hand, and then you get to select and remove 1 revealed card this way, and this attack gains all Enhance abilities printed on the removed card. So that is really, really strong, especially if you're able to force your opponent not to play some strong attack, and then on your turn you can just rip it out of their hand anyway and gain all of those powerful abilities. As our other asset, we have Bernstein's Stadium. This is a terrain. It is a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +1 low block. It says Enhance, Commit 1 foundation. This attack gets +2 damage. Playable by either player and playable while committed. Terrains way back in the day used to be playable by either player, or at least had some ability that was playable by either player, to make it more of a fighting arena, a field spell of sorts. So this is just a cool way to get more damage onto your attacks, especially since as long as there's blocking going on, your checks are getting bonuses, so you might not have to commit as many foundations. And it's playable while committed. The way you commit it, as a response, after you make a control check, that check gets +2. Your check to play your reversal, your check to play your block, your check to play your attack, and this +2 will stack with the Gentle Criminal response. So if you block with a +2, and then you commit this to give your check to play your reversal +2, your reversal is going to end up with 4 additional speed, just going into your attack on your opponent's turn and making it really hard for your opponent to deal with something like a Nouveau Soleil or a really strong Raptor Rush. Onto our actions, we have Lover Mode, because we're Gentle Criminal. A 3 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 low block. The static says if we are Gentle Criminal, which we are, this attack does not count. This action does not count towards progressive difficulty. So offensive, defensive, this just treats itself as not being in your card pool. It has a form, discard 1 card to draw 2 cards. Always good to cycle some cards we don't need for more cards we do, hopefully. It has a first enhance card pool, so as long as this is in your card pool, you can activate this enhance as long as you have the required 2 momentum. This attack gets -1 speed or +2 damage. So you make your opponent's attacks easier to block, or you give more damage to your attacks to make sure that your opponent wants to block and activate your responses. And then as a villain response, after you block with this card, your rival adds 1 face-up foundation to their hand. So if you block with it, and they haven't committed any face-up foundations, you basically debuild them a ready resource, which is always really fun to have, just bouncing their stuff around and making them kind of regret running face first into one of these blocks. Excuse me. If my voice sounds a little rough, this is the 3rd time that I'm filming this video. I've been having issues with my audio recording lately. So thank you for bearing with me thus far. Next up we have Plus Ultra, a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +5 mid block. The static on this says when attempting to block with this card, reduce the speed of your rival's attack to 0, which is amazing. You basically play this on a 5, maybe a 6 if you're dealing with progressive difficulty. Then your next check to play a card gets +5, and if that card is then a reversal, it gets +5 speed. There's literally no downside to this. This is just an amazing card to throw in Gentle as at least a 3 of, just to gain that plus speed for either chain blocking or playing your reversals. And then last for our actions we have Stop, a 0 difficulty, 4 control with a +3 mid block. Again, we do want to be playing these higher block modifier cards to gain more to our checks to play cards, and then speed for our attacks. And it says response card pool remove. So after you block with this card, commit your opponent's character. So you block with it successfully, like maybe you have to commit some cards to pass the check, but then you remove this card, so it doesn't count towards progressive difficulty anymore, and you turn your opponent's character sideways. And then your next check, if you're Gentle, gets +3. Really solid card, really no downside. It does have an enhance, remove, look at your momentum. You may rearrange it. Because they changed the rules to where you can always look at your momentum, that is kind of not needed anymore. But we're really playing this for the response to just turn our opponent's card sideways, our character sideways, and get +3 to our next check. Moving on to foundations, we have Elasticity, a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 high block. It says response, flip, after an attack is blocked, the next attack this turn gets +3 or -3 damage. This means that either our reversals are going to get +3 damage, or if we don't have a reversal to play, our opponent's next attack is going to get -3 damage. Win-win in that case. And then it has another response, flip, after your rival plays a stun ability, cancel it, and add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Really good anti-stun, and it gives us the momentum we'll need for Recipro Burst or La Brava or our Lover Mode. So all in all, just really good. Then we have Internet Sensation, a 1 difficulty, 4 control with a +2 low block. It says response, after you play an attack, if you did not commit any foundations to pass the check, that attack gets +1 damage. So if we get the plus from our big blocks with Gentle, blocking with, say, a plus Ultra, our check to play our reversal gets +5, that attack will get +5 speed and then +1 damage from Internet Sensation for each Internet Sensation, making our attacks even more of a necessary deal with on our opponent's turn. And then it has a Deadlock Enhance. Your next check to play an attack gets +1. So if our opponent's in deadlock, which if we're throwing these really high speed moves, let's face it, they might need to go there eventually, You can use this enhance on your opponent's attack, and then your next check to play your reversal gets +1 on top of the Gentle Criminal plus, which gives even more speed to your reversal attack, and then Internet Sensation can then also add the damage. Next up we have Saving Bakugo, a 0 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 mid-block. It's got the ally keyword, and response, flip after one of your foundations is flipped due to a rival effect, unflip it and draw a card. Retro has a lot of flipping capabilities, so having some flip defense is definitely nice, and it gives us that +3 block that we would want to be blocking with. Next up, Requesting Assistance, a 0 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid-block. Enhance, flip if you have 1 or more momentum, ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. If we're throwing these high-speed attacks on our opponent's turn, likely we're going to have momentum to either continue our strings, either attacking or blocking, or just reusing some of our commit costs. It's just a really fun card to have around. We've got Calling for Backup, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 mid-block. This is enhance, flip, draw 1 card. If this was not the first enhance played this enhance step, discard 1 card. So you're only really going to be playing this during any of your attacks, both on offense or as a reversal, to draw the card, or if you just desperately need to cycle maybe for a better block modifier or a block zone, you can do this to cycle a card out of your hand. Then we've got Fulfilled My Duty, a 2 difficulty, 4 control with a +3 high block. It says enhance, destroy, end the enhance step. So usually this is your opponent plays an attack, they get the first enhance, and that's it. Then you go straight to block steps before your opponent can make it any harder to deal with. Then we have Voice of Reason, a 0 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid-block. It says enhance once per turn, both players discard 1 card and draw 1 card. This is cool because if you have no cards in your hand to discard, it's not a cost, it's an effect, so all you do is draw 1 card. You will have to be careful that means your opponent can just simply draw a card if they have no card to discard, but either way it's still a very solid 0 difficulty foundation. Next up, Nightmare Tears, a 2 difficulty, 4 control with a +3 low block, unique foundation. It has the static, when attempting to block with this card, reduce the speed of your opponent's attack to 0. We love blocking with high difficulty block modifiers, we love reducing our opponent's attack speed to 0. So again, just being able to do this simply by blocking with the card, A-game. And then as an enhance on the foundation, your turn, flip, your opponent commits and freezes one of their foundations. So if you had to build this card, it is just going to lock down one of their foundations for your turn, their turn, and your next turn. But usually you're just going to want to keep this to block with. Next up is Ridding the World of Outsiders, a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 high block. It says enhance, your next attack gets +2, or enhance commit, so you commit this card. Your next attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. And then enhance, flip, this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage, playable while committed. So you play this commit effect during your opponent's turn, during their attack, so your reversal will get 2 speed and 2 damage, and then you can flip this committed card, so that same attack will get +1 speed and +1 damage. So this 1 card counts for 3 speed and 3 damage towards any of your reversals, or, you know, if on your turn you're having to use this to pump up your next attacks. This counts for 3 speed and 3 damage, not including whatever Gentle Criminal himself is giving in terms of speed. So this can really push through a lot of damage on your opponent's turn with one of your reversal attacks. Next up we have Malfestation, a 1 difficulty, 6 control with a +2 high block. It's got a static. After this card is committed due to a stun ability, or to pay the cost of your ability, your opponent commits 1 foundation. So if they stun you, they get stunned as well. There's not a lot in here that commits 1 foundation, except for maybe the Bernstein Stadium, so you can commit Malfestation to force your opponent to commit a foundation and you get 2 damage. That's pretty solid. But also it'll make your opponent think twice about stunning you if you have multiple copies of this on the board, because then they will have to as well stun themselves. Then we've got Forged to Defeat Evil, a 2 difficulty, 6 control with a +3 mid-block. It says enhance once per turn. This attack gets -1 damage. Your next attack gets +2 damage. So you can give your opponent's attack -1 damage, then play a reversal that will then get +2 damage, plus whatever speed Gentle Criminal will be throwing at it. So again, really just pushing through, making your opponent have to deal with these strong attacks on their turn, which can really mess up what they want to be able to do with their foundations and such on their turn. Sorry, I've got animals coming in and out. And then it also has a response flip. After your opponent plays an ability that reduces your control check, commit one of their foundations. If they breaker you, if they have a foundation or an attack that flips for minus to your check to play a card, like the Keimi Utsushimi card, or the new Dabi Ultra Rare, that would flip your check gets -2. It doesn't cancel the minus, unfortunately, but it does allow you to point at one of your opponent's foundations and selectively commit it. And let me just check. And Gentle says after you play an attack, if the check was modified, it gets X speed, X equals the amount it was modified by. So I do believe that means that if you give it +2 and they give it -2, that is, it was modified by 4, technically. It was a +2 and a -2. I think that's how that would work, and you would get +4 to your speed, because it's both effects modifying the check. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I do believe that is how that works. If not, fine. If so, insane. You no longer fear Breaker with Gentle Criminal. And then we have, moving on, we have God of Thunder, a 3 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 high block. This is a Raiden foundation for Mortal Kombat 10. It says enhance, destroy 1 foundation, ready one of your foundations that has not been readied this combat phase, playable while committed, and then enhance, commit, your attack gets +2 damage. So you can blow up a committed foundation to ready this one after you've given an attack 2 damage, or you can use any of your other commit costs and then destroy a foundation to ready that card. It's just a solid way to keep reusing some of your assets and really push through your strings if you just need that quick ready ability. And then we have Fei, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 low block that simply says, enhance, flip, this attack gets -3 speed. We want to make our opponent's attacks as blockable as possible because we want to be blocking with these high block modifier cards to then get more checks, more boost to our checks, and then more speed on our attacks. And lastly, we have Refusing to Let Go, a 3 difficulty, 5 control, unique foundation with no block. This is our only no block, I believe, in the deck. It says enhance, commit, return this attack's damage to printed, then give it +2 or -2 damage. So if we can't block this attack for some reason, either we don't have the foundations or we don't have the correct block zones, you can just return this attack to printed and give it -2 damage to pretty much ensure that you don't have to block it or you don't have to deal with it. This can be really good in a pinch, especially if you can reuse it with God of Thunder, if for some reason you are taxed out of your blocks. But yeah, all in all, that is the Order Gentle Criminal Retro Reversal build. What do you guys think? I really love how crazy this guy can be in Retro. Unfortunately, that's not a very big format right now, but I would definitely bring this guy to a big Retro at like Nationals or the HLC if I were going. But he's incredibly fun and incredibly hard to deal with once he gets rolling, especially if you can throw big wrenches in your opponent's plans, which I love to do. So if you like deck profile content, or you just for some reason like hearing me talk, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more, if you have a specific character in mind you'd like to see a deck build for, please let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas to get the gears turning. And if you like the video, please like it. That definitely helps with the metrics and getting these videos out in front of more people. And lastly, we will have the Chaos Gentle Criminal deck as our third and final of the Retro Reversal Gentle Criminal builds. And that one's got some very, very unique and spicy cards that I can't wait to show you guys. So until that time, take care, guys.